Hello, my name is Steve Bowler, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Border Gateway Protocol, otherwise known as BGP. In particular, within BGP we're going to take a look at BGP Route Aggregation. We're also going to take a look at BGP Route Dampening. And then the last thing we'll look at is how to configure BGP Suppress-Maps and Unsuppress-Maps, or how to configure suppressed maps and unsuppressed maps within BGP implementation. And we're going to be using in this lab a frame relay switch between R1 and R2. We're going to right click on the frame relay switch. We're going to name this FRS, or short for frame relay switch, and we're going to go in and create our DELCs. Port 1 is going to be mapped to DELC 102, and DELC and port 2 is going to be mapped to DELC 201, and map that, and we'll hit apply and OK. So the next thing, we're going to click on the links. We're going to click on R1. We're going to click on the frame relay switch port 1, which is going to be DELC 102, and then for router 2 we're going to be using a serial connection from R2 to the frame relay switch. We're going to be hooking into port 2. Port 2 is mapped again to DELC 201. So now that we have the DELC connections mapped from the routers to the frame relay switch, we'll go ahead and start the router and create our frame relay connection on the routers. So we will go ahead and console into router 1 and configure router 1 first. We're going to do we'll give router 1 the host name of R1. We're going to create a loopback 0 interface on R1. Give it the 192.168.10.1 IP address. We'll give it a /24 subnet mask, and then we will go into our serial interface connecting R1 to the frame relay switch. We're going to set the encapsulation to frame relay since we are connecting to a frame relay switch. Now we're going to go into the sub interface, which is going to be using serial 0-0.12, which simulates our connection from router 1 to router 2, and then we're going to be using a point-to-point frame relay connection. Now that we're under sub-interface mode on the interface, we're going to be using the 172.168.1.0/30 subnet range. So for router 1, we're going to give it the 172.168.1.1 IP with the /30 subnet mask, and then we're going to put in frame relay interface DELC 102 to specify our DELC to use on this point-to-point sub-interface. And now if we go back to interface serial 00, we will do a no shut on the interface. And we're going to do the same thing now on router 2. So let's go ahead and console into router 2 and get it configured. So again, we're going to configure the host name first of R2, and then we're going to go under loopback 1, or we'll create all of our loopbacks real fast. Loopback 1 is going to be the 192.168.1.1/24. Loopback 2 is going to be using the 2.1/24. Loopback 3 is going to be using the 192.168.3.1/24. And loopback 4 is our last loopback on R2, and it's going to be using the IP address of 192.168.4.1 with a /24 subnet mask.